These are the kinds of questions you need to be asking before you commit resources to creating that thing. And you can get customers. I've done it. You can get customers before you've created the thing. And in fact, if you can't, then I would say to you, as I am right now, in some sort of consultation, that it's a dud of an idea. If you can't get people to buy it, if you can't get people to pay for the idea. This is Jason Kanigan, president of Sales on Fire. We're going to talk about software as a service today. One of my favorite topics. Great market to be in, lots of scalability, but lots of problems too. So here's the issue. You get a lot of guys who, they get an idea, and that's the idea for this software as a service, and they go and dump resources into developing this thing, and now they have this little piece of technology. And they think just because they have this little piece of technology that the world's going to line up at their door, and so they try and market it and they fall flat on their faces. I mean, how many times have you seen this? Where somebody's created something and then when it came time to get customers, they're like, well, I don't know, how do we get users? Right? And then you see them run around on forums asking how to get users. Okay. If you have done this, you have made a serious mistake. You've put the cart before the horse. You've done things in the wrong order. And I don't understand why people do this. It makes no sense to me. Okay? But you need to rethink this. Like, I'll ask, what's your business model? Because they'll come to me and say, well, what do? We need help with conversion. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're not anywhere near conversion. Your problem is up the funnel pipe. It's way up there. It's at the very beginning. Who's your user base? What's your revenue model? And they have no idea. Okay, so here's the smart thing to do. Figure this stuff out before you go create the app. Okay? And, oh, Jason, how could we do that? How could we sell something if we don't? It's called vaporware. People do this all the time. I'm going to give you an example from the offline world. Okay? I had an idea that I wanted to create a warm-up series of emails on sales training through LinkedIn. Okay? And I paid a consultant a lot of money to help me with it. I wouldn't do that again. But here's the thing. That project didn't work out. It failed. So instead I went back to what I knew. I knew there were people in a marketplace who needed help with selling, and I took that series of emails and videos, content that I had made, and I turned it into week 1 of what I planned to be a 4-week series. Okay, this thing's called Sales Judo, and it went on to become one of the great products in sales training out there, okay, that's digitally available. It's been selling for years, literally like 3 years it's been selling, maybe longer now. I had that first week of content available, all right, and I said, sign up for a subscription. I'm going to charge you so much a week, and every week I'm going to give you new information here. Okay, it was through a membership site, so I would just add on another layer of membership stuff that they could unlock that next week if they subscribed. Otherwise I left their subscription where it was, you know, and that worked out very, very well. Now the key there, and the key that I'm trying to tell you about, was user feedback. Okay, I didn't just go create something in isolation. I've got a lot of sales knowledge up here, and in fact one of my big problems at the beginning of all this journey was, how do I dump that out and translate that into a product that people can buy with a beginning, a middle, and an end? Very hard to do when you've got 20 years of experience, right? So here I created a Facebook group for Sales Judo, and the users went in there and they used what I gave them for that first week, and I had a plan for what I was going to give them in the second week, but they gave me feedback. Hey Jason, I'm struggling with this. Okay? And so I could create that next week's information to serve them best. I could adjust what I was doing in order to make a product that they were really happy with and happy to pay for the next week's information because this week met their needs so well. Now that's the mentality to get into. Not, oh, well, we'll go create this thing in our ivory tower over here like some sort of tech wizard and then come down with it and try and give it to the world and then be astonished that the world doesn't fall on its collective butt in astonishment at how amazing your software as a service is. Okay? You can take the idea, go find a target market for it, and start having conversations. Would you pay for this? Would this be useful to you? Does it solve a serious problem for you? What else would it have to do in order to really help you out, okay, and solve your problem and achieve above and beyond the call of duty? These are the kinds of questions you need to be asking before you commit resources to creating that thing. And you can get customers. I've done it. You can get customers before you've created the thing. And in fact, if you can't, then I would say to you, as I am right now, in some sort of consultation, that it's a dud of an idea. If you can't get people to buy it, if you can't get people to pay for the idea, okay? And then maybe they won't pay full price. Maybe they get in at a discount because they're developers. Maybe the great thing that they get out of it, they pay full price, maybe, but the great thing they get out of it is they get a tweaked product that's made just for them. Okay? This service now does exactly what they want it to do. That's power. Not trying to create something in isolation and then go out there and market it. That's a mistake. Okay? Now, if you need some confirmation, I'm going to link to a past sales tactics video in the description below of how screwed up this industry is, the IT industry, and how far behind the IT industry is when it comes to sales and marketing. Okay? How off course. There's a total divergence, if you aren't aware of this, between what the customers want and what the service providers and the IT hardware people are providing. They're confusing the heck out of each other. And if you're in the middle of that, it's not a good place to be. All right, so how do you get out of it? Again, sit down, write down your idea, and then go and shop it around to various people who could be target customers and ask them, does this solve a problem for you? Serious problem. Well, how big is it? Let's try and monetize it. Would you pay to fix this problem? How much would you pay given the size of the problem we just calculated together? And then, will you let me do it? Okay? It's pretty straightforward, right? Is there anything else that this thing should be able to do that would really make your life easier? These are the things that you need to be concentrating on when you're in the creation mode for software as a service, not the technical features that you think are important. Okay? Get it in the right order. Figure your revenue model out. I see people asking on forums, what do I do to get a bigger user base? And I have no clue what their revenue model is. Like this one that I just saw recently was some sort of restaurant specific dish review. So you're going to not just review the restaurant, but this specific dish, and that was supposed to help people figure out what to go eat at what restaurant. Sounds kind of complicated to me, but okay. What's the revenue model for it? Who's paying for it? Is the end user paying for it? Maybe that's not the best way of getting user adoption. Maybe a third-party advertiser should pay for it. Maybe the restaurant should pay for it. Right? Maybe another thing should pay for it. Have you thought this through? That company had not. I didn't see a lick of information there as to how they were going to get paid for this thing that they created that apparently nobody really wanted to use. So use your brain, figure out who's going to use this, why are they going to use this, and don't do it in theory, in isolation. Go out there and get real answers from your real target market. Maybe you'll find out before you've committed much in the way of resources beyond your own time digging that this thing just isn't going to fly. I'd rather find that out now, wouldn't you? Before I've committed to it and tried to build a business around it. This is Jason Kanigan from Sales on Fire, warning you about the dangers of software as a service. Not as bad as smoking, but pretty bad. Thanks for watching.